Hi, today in this video, you will learn data models in dbms. So let's get started. So we start with introduction. What is data models? Data models is a collection of concepts for describing data. So data model, it defines the data elements and the relationship between the data elements. So here data models are used to show how data is stored, connected, accessed, and updated in database management system. So data model gives us an idea that how the system will seems like after its whole implementation. So here we use set of symbols and text to represent the information so that the member of an organization can communicate and understand. So here data models defines how we can represent our data, how we store our data, and how this data is connected to each other, how we can access the data and update the data in a dbms. So these data models are classified into three major groups: object-based logical model, record-based logical model, and physical model. Object-based logical model. These models are used to describe data at logical and view levels. I described what logical and view levels in my previous video. So please check my previous video on three-level architecture of dbms. Object-based logical model. Under this group, there are four data models: ER model, functional model, object-oriented model, and semantic model. So these are four data models that comes under object-based logical model. I'll explain later. Now next is record-based logical model. Now under this record-based logical model, three data models comes: hierarchical, database model, network model, and relational model. Now first we understand ER model, which comes under object-based logical model. So ER model is entity relationship model. The ER data model describe the real world as consisting of basic objects called entities and relationships among these objects. So first, what is entities? Entity is a real world thing that can be a person, a place, or even a concept. For example, teacher, students, course, building, department, etc. These are entities. Then attribute. An entity contains a real world properties called attributes. For example, we have an entity like teacher. The teacher has the property like teacher ID, salary, age. So here teacher ID and his salary, his age, etc. is property, or you can call attribute. Now next is relationship. Relationship tells how two attributes are related. For example, teacher works for a department. So here works for is a relationship which defines how these two entities are connected to each other. Now I'll show you with this picture. Here, student is an entity and roll number, name and course is an attribute. Here, roll number is a primary key. Here you can clearly see the student, which is an entity, and roll number, name, and courses are the attributes of the student entity. Now next is here, student is an entity, his roll number, name, and course is an attribute. Department is another entity, department number and department name is an attribute, and these two entities are connected through this relationship. Means a student study in this department. So to describe how these two entities are connected to each other. So this is relationship, and these are attributes, and student and departments are entities. I hope you understand. If you have any problem, then you can comment us. So here ER model is a high level conceptual model. It allows us to describe the data involved in real-world enterprise in terms of object and their relationship. Here, student and departments are entity, or you can say objects, and study in is a relationship between student and department. It widely used to develop the initial design of a database. It provides a set of useful concepts that make it convenient for a developer. So here, developer can easily understand how we can store our data. Now next is object-oriented data model. The object-oriented data model is a data model based on a collection of objects. Each model has a unique entity and group of objects containing the same type of value and the same methods are called classes. I'll explain with an example. Here, these are two objects. So in this object-oriented model, data and relationship are present in a single structure, and these structures are called objects. In this model, two or more objects are connected through a link. So in this example, we have two objects, student and department, and all data and relationship of each object are contained as a single unit. Here the attributes are roll number, name, course and department. Now in department object, the attributes are department number and department name. And the methods that are performed by an object is stored in this single object, and these two objects are connected through a common attribute. So here a common attribute is department number. So these two attributes are connected through a common attribute, which is department number. So the communication between these two objects are done with this common ID. So I hope and you understand. In object-oriented data model, each data and relationship both are present in a single structure, which is called objects. Here student and departments are objects, and attributes are student attributes are roll number, name, course and department number. Here the department attributes are department number and department name, and these two objects are connected through a common attribute. So in the student and department, here the common attribute is department number. Now next is hierarchical model. This model was the first dbms model, and this model organized the data in a hierarchical tree structure. So here the hierarchy starts from the root, which has the root data. So here the root data is clothes. Then is expands in the form of a tree, adding child nodes to the parent nodes. The clause here subchilds are, it can be a men's cloth or a woman's cloth, and in a men's cloth it can be a jeans or shirt, and in women's cloth it can be a top and a skirt. So here you can see, here we represent the data in a hierarchic form. Now next is network model. This model is same as hierarchical model. The only difference is that record can have more than one parent. In hierarchical model, there is only one parent, but in the network model, there can be a more than one parent. For example, so here you can see the student have two parents, department and sport. Now next is relational model. Relational model is the most widely used model. And in this model, the data is maintained in the form of two-dimensional table. All the information is stored in the form of row and columns. So the basic structure of relational model is table. So here you can see we store the student information in the form of table, student roll number, student name, student department, and department number. So here each row in a table is called tuple. A row contains all information about the instance of the object. So here you can see the first row contains the information of student A. His roll number is 1, his department is ABC, and his department number is 2. And here these attributes, roll number, name, department, and department numbers are attributes which define the table of relation. The value of the attribute should be from the same domain. So this is relational model. In relational model, all information are stored in the form of row and columns. So here roll number, name, department and department number is attribute. First row represents information about the student A, his roll number, his department and his department number. Thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, don't forget to subscribe.